Hey guys, welcome to this week's analysis. Looking at Jorge Fonseca versus Niyaz Ilyasov in the World Finals 2019. Now, it's a great fight. I'm a big fan of Fonseca. I really like his shit. I like his explosive power. I think he's a great person to have in this weight group because he offers a real nice different dimension to it. Before this World Final, no European medal, no world medal, but obviously been on the world circuit. And both of the fighters actually had a real difficult draw to get to this point. You know, Fonseca's beaten Lipitiliani and Gazimov to get to this stage. And Ilyasov's beaten Mare, Elenas and Cho. So it's not, they both deserve to be in this final. Ilyasov's world bronze medalist in 2018. Both right-handed fighters. Now, the one thing I like about this is the more analysis we're doing, the more we're starting to see similarities that go across weight groups, similar tactics. And what I like about George, he does judo that suits his style, suits his build. Real powerful judo. So let's get into this as we go. So, starting off, George, a little bit smaller than his opponent, but actually he usually is, okay, quite a bit. Always going to be a good exchange on the gripping in the first. Feel each other out. Nobody wants to let the other person get the dominating grip from the beginning. So both in stance, really important. Both in a good stance, right stance. And George is using his left hand to post, be able to do his drops. So you'll see this quite a lot when we're here. We're fighting for our grips. Here we go. So he's a right-handed fighter, but posts left hand. Wait till it gets to it. There we go. This left hand comes on, okay, to be able to turn with the right sinagi. But this does two things. It allows him to attack, but also stops our partner here coming over with this big right hand. Okay, that's what we're looking to stop the whole time. Both right-handers. That left hand's going to do two things. Okay, now against somebody who does drops, if they're posting their left hand, what you need to be thinking about doing is catching the other hand, because if you catch the other hand, it stops them from turning in, or at least diffuses it, so it makes it less powerful. Okay, so now the Russian's doing the same thing, posting his left hand to stop that shoulder coming round. So if you don't catch the sleeve, posting your left hand on the lapel is just as good, because it will stop that rotation when they're trying to turn. So Fonseca straight away trying to take that down. Now if you see here, let's go back just before the attack. So this left hand's on, Fonseca's using his grip break to take it off, okay, which is good. So here, taking it off, this way he knows he can turn. The Russian, look, we're back to this cross grip. We looked at this when Kripalak against Reiner. This cross grip is to stop this right hand coming over the back, okay? Now, where Fonseca does a lot of drop techniques, if he can get the Russian boy walking forwards trying to go over, that's good, because that means he can turn on it, okay? But what he doesn't want to do is be following the whole time, okay? So here, he's going to stop, and now he turns. Let's move that out of the way. And there, we've got the first score. Let's go back a tiny bit. Now, you'll notice I'm getting this part on the screen. That's because it was so long, the video, I had to record it in the first instance and then re-record me over the top of it, okay? So apologies about that, the box. So he takes this sleeve down. He goes straight onto the cross grip now to keep hold. Now, starts to come and then straight in. And nice drive. One thing I like about Fonseca when he attacks is when he scores is he drives straight back up. He's trying to throw his partner. He isn't trying to avoid the technique in this one. He's trying to throw his partner. So there's all this drive through, power, which is great. Really, really good. Okay, so Wazari up, 1 minute down. Okay, a lot of judo still to happen though. That's it. Tidying our kits. And here we go, straight back in, both in stance. The stance is always important. If you're somebody who likes drop techniques, you want your partner to square up all the time. Square up or go in the wrong stance. Really, really important to get your techniques to work. Okay? Now, Straight in again, good attack. No movement on that one though. They were both stood still. You're always going to struggle against a good fighter just to blast through without any movement. Okay, and the Russians picking up the first penalty. Okay, so hands up. Need to control. Now the Russian's gone for the cross grip to pull in. Okay, but look, once again, George straight back on the cross grip himself. Okay, they're using very similar tactics. Now, it shows you with this, okay, the Russian wants to get a high grip, George wants to come underneath, okay, but they're using the same gripping strategy to do the same thing, okay, to do different things, sorry. So it's really important that you start to understand these strategies that are coming into play, because they happen all the time across all weight groups. You know, the tactics, the technical tactics happen all the time. So here, back on the cross grip, taking off, turning. But there, this one, he completely misses it. So let's just go back a sec. So play, pause. Oh, sorry. Here we go. So we're here, there. Now the reason why he misses it is because our partner's in stance. Now, I've talked about this on some of my videos before, about if you're against somebody who drops, it's really important that you stay in your judo stance, because if you square up, that's basically their target for them to go in. So if this was a square stance, okay, my partner could come in and drop right between my legs, but because he's in a right stance, more often than not they can miss it, or you can move round. So there, we're straight into Newaza, but no real effort there from the Russian to go. 2 minutes down. Now, what you've got to be careful of, if you are losing a contest and you think, oh, I've got 3 minutes to go, it's fine. Those 3 minutes can go so quickly. You've got to have that in your head, and you've got to start applying the pressure really early on. So, back to hands on, cross gripping now to try and throw the arm. Now they both mirrored each other to block the shoulder. They both want to block the other person's shoulder coming over. Okay, now this is a great escape from a big guy. Okay, let's just go back a sec. But what we're seeing is a real overreach. I just want to pause it before we get to the attack. So there, nothing really happening. Quite a lot of distance there. Okay, now this distance, look how far back this leg is. Okay, there's a real big drive at this point, and it's actually quite dangerous. Because the Russian's far leg, okay, is in the air, he's not going to be able to counter him at this point. But it's a real overstretch at this point, and most probably if you're Wazari up, there's no real need to make this attack. But we also see the big Russian managed to get off of this attack here. And it's just because he loses his grip in. Now, once again, he's heads up. There needs to be Newaza transition. Great opportunity there to go into Newaza. Fonseca looking up, and he does this quite a lot, Fonseca. When he goes into Newaza, especially in that position, he looks up, which obviously strangles are right in there. Okay, so 1 minute 30, time's really ticking away now. There, another stretch in Oso. Now, this is good for building up attacks, but it's still unnecessary. There's no real need to put that attack in. Cross grip again. Russians coming more extreme. Okay, squaring up. Back on the grips. There, an overreach. Oh, and there we go. Look at that. Let's watch that again. Okay, because this is what I was talking about earlier. I'm going to get to a point where I can pause just before it goes. So, fight the grip off again, gets his grip. Now I'm just going to come to here. There. Right. Now, look at this posture. At this point, the Russian's bent over. Okay, we need him to come back up to be able to attack him. But because he's bent over, look at the distance between the two. There. Stop. Look at that. Look how far he's having to stretch. Now, he's not bent over, and he's not leaning back. The Russian's perfectly upright, really good posture, and both feet are planted on the floor, which is so important. Okay, Fonseca's not managed to break his posture where the Russian's leaning back. He's in really good stance now. So he's got this overstretch here. He's reaching through. Okay, there. And now you can see, as he's attacked, the Russian's adjusting. So the perfect counter to Osotogari is Osotogari. And it comes from bringing the leg that's in the air around. So as Fonseca drives, boom, there. He's turned, he's taken control of this throw now. Now, any other heavyweight, you would say this is Ippon all day long. Sorry about the quality of the pitch here. But he's going back to the mat. And the way Fonseca gets out of this is... There, how he lands on his tummy. Let's play that at full speed again, just so you can see it. You don't see this happen in heavyweight judo that often, being thrown and then spin out. It happens a lot in lightweight judo. But this is sort of one of the reasons why, especially as foundation, when you're working with kids, it doesn't really matter if they're big or small. They should be doing basic gymnastics, but that is awesome. Really good. But once again, Mate's not been called and he's looking up. So you could be saying, well, why is he not trying to strangle him? You know, obviously it's easy to say sat here watching the match. But it's definitely stuff you look at. If this is something that Fonseca does all the time when he goes to Niyaz and look forwards, you know, the neck's there. 1 minute to go and the pressure's starting to come on now. But it comes from that he's not needing to attack. He's a Wazari up. No Shidos on the board. You know. But there, here we go. Pressure's on. Now you're starting to feel it. Take a penalty. You know, you could say the Russians got a strong grip. You're far better off taking that. But where there's only 3 Shidos now before you're disqualified, it is a dangerous game because it comes around so quickly. Now the Russians able to get on. Now, this is a good attack in far as it gets your partner moving, but the gripping stops. Where they're tired, at no point before has Fonseca let the Russian get a grip like this. Every single exchange, he's had either his left hand posting on his shoulder or cross gripping with a right hand post on his shoulder. This isn't good. This isn't where he wants to be, and this is why he's winning the contest, because he's not let him do this before. But here, he gets the Russian moving on, and because he's moving on, that's a valid attack. He creates movement. Although he knows he's never going to throw him, he doesn't need to throw him, he just needs to make sure he creates movement. 30 seconds now. Shido to the Russian for not attacking, you know, and that drop just broke any preparation that the Russian could make. Oh, there we go, waved off. Okay, which is fair. I mean, yeah. So, Russian, left hand on, just trying to get over the top. There, back to controlling the space. He doesn't need to throw him, he just needs to not get a penalty. There, that one's dangerous. There, backing up to the edge. Now, it used to be, with the old rules, if you dropped on the edge with a fake attack, it used to be like 2 penalties. But now, back onto it, he just needs to stay on his feet. There, force in. Now, for me, that's not a false attack because the Russian stepped out, so you could argue there could be a penalty for stepping out. But yeah, maybe a penalty to Fonseca, but I think that would be quite harsh, winning by Wazari. And don't forget, we still want people to win by positive attacks. So here again, pressure on from the Russian, but it's just too late. You know, when we said there was 3 minutes to go, that time can quickly go. And there we go. New world champion. Great judo, real explosive judo. Really exciting for the sport, you know. And it's going to be really interesting going into the Worlds next year. The Olympics next year to see who comes through to take that Olympic title. It's going to be some great judo. I hope you've enjoyed this analysis like the others. If you do like it, hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell, and thanks for watching.